Iran flexing its muscle. They're demanding that Saudi Arabia actually end their airstrikes in Yemen and getting what appears to be a huge concession in nuclear talks. Now, you're the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Isn't a fact that we, America, President Obama, that we've actually empowered Iran to act the way they're acting right now?
In many ways, and they're boasting about it. They're saying, well, we control 4 Arab capitals now. They're talking about controlling Beirut and Damascus and Baghdad because, frankly, their Quds forces, their militias are all over the ground. And now Yemen as well. And their most recent action was basically to threaten Saudi Arabia. And so, as a consequence, you see regional actors, Jordan and Saudi Arabia and others saying, no, we're not going to allow you to take any more ground. But we haven't seen leadership out of the United States to slow them down, and at the same time they've been enabled, basically, in this negotiation where even the president of France is speaking out and saying we have to have inspections. You have to have a verification system here. And yet the administration seems to be getting rolled on every aspect of this negotiation.
When France is the sort of the muscle in the room, you know things are wrong. Now, you talk about Iran being enabled, but it feels the opposite end of that is that Congress has been neutered to a certain degree. Now, I understand that the GOP didn't have the numbers, but since the November election, a lot of people have felt let down. And with all due respect, that your party hasn't stepped up. What's going on besides writing letters to Iran? What can be done to turn this around?
Let me tell you what can be done, Charles. I think this is important because once you lay these arguments out, like the last session where I laid out the arguments for the kinds of sanctions on Iran that would give the Ayatollah a choice between economic collapse for his regime or compromise on his nuclear program, we were, even with the administration opposing it, we were able to pass that out with a vote of 400 to 20. Now, we had Mr. Reid hold that up in the Senate, but I think we are now in a position where we can pass through the Senate and maybe even get to the 2/3 that we would need for a veto override. So, here's what we just saw 4 days ago. We saw the Ayatollah lead a chant of death to America. Now, if the Ayatollah ends up demanding an agreement where there's no verification, the inability of the inspectors to go in and see his nuclear program where they say they've got 1,000 pages of documents showing that he has tried to develop a nuclear warhead to put on an ICBM. If we can't have access to that, then Congress is going to have to take action and override the administration. That's what we're building toward. And that's what we may have to do if we don't win in this negotiation.
Congressman Royce, we're going to be watching very closely. This is the biggest moment in a long time for our country. We appreciate it.